Dynasty rookie rankings. Post first week of training camp. They're out for a Romeo. There's a little romance in the air. Are we the Juliets looking for our Romeo? We're about to break it down right now, starting on the Razzball Fantasy Football Podcast. Welcome back, folks, to another episode of the Razzball Fantasy Football Podcast. I'm your host, Bobby Lamarco. Yes, we got a little philosophical. We got a little romance in the air, right? Because we got a Romeo on the show today that we're kind of feeling. So call us Juliet. That's right, folks. We're going old school literature here. I don't know why, but it's a football show. So I'm going to bounce back. This is the Razzball Fantasy Football Podcast. Make sure you're following us on YouTube at Razzball Fantasy. Make sure you're checking us out on IG and TikTok at Razzball Fantasy as well. And make sure you're going to razzball.com. Not only do we do football, we have baseball, the flagship. We have basketball and hockey. But more importantly, now we have all the tools you need. We have an ADP tool, Dynasty Rookie Rankings. We have team name generators. We have everything you need for the fantasy season. So make sure you go over to razzball.com as soon as you get the chance. About to bring in my co-host for today. Obviously, we're talking Dynasty. It's Wednesday. I got Paul Blake on the show. What's going on, Paul?
Hey, Bobby. What's shaking, buddy?
Nothing, man. I'm ready to go, dude. We're ready to talk about the first week of NFL training camp and how these Dynasty rankings have been shifting a little bit. And one of them, I got to tell you, Wan'Dale, I mean, you must have been I can't even imagine. I couldn't even imagine the glow that you had when I sent you that tweet. Any news about Wan'Dale, but we'll get to him in a second. But today's show is really to talk about, some of it is about your shift in your rankings. Some of it is about some of the news we've heard. And let's just get right into it because that's what we do around here. The first player I want to talk about is actually that Packers wide receivers, those rookie wide receivers. We go into the offseason, we're thinking it's going to be Christian Watson. However, Watson's been out of the lineup. He has not been practicing, and instead, it's another rookie wide receiver, Romeo Doubs, that's really been flashing. So talk to us a little about this situation and why did you want to cover it on today's show?
Well, yeah, I wanted to kind of correct my mistake earlier because I had Doubs moving down a little bit in my previous update. It was more an effect of just running backs moving ahead of him, but I was wrong. That I should not have moved him down, apparently. He is tearing it up in camp. Well, Watson sits off on the sideline, nursing that knee that he had the scope on after OTAs. And while he's out, Doubs has stepped in. We got some pretty awesome quotes by the people who are most important in Green Bay. Aaron Rodgers said that Doubs creates a wow play every day. I read that on Green Bay Press Gazette. That's Ryan Wood who wrote that up. Just give him credit on that. He beat Eric Stokes, who was the 2021 first-round pick. And he beat him for a touchdown. So that's pretty awesome in practice, too. Matt LaFleur calls Doubs consistent. Got that out of USA Today. Still no timetable for Watson's return. So I don't know. To me right now, if the season starts, we're looking at, at Doubs, Lazard, and Cobb probably as the Packers wide receiver. And I've always felt like you're going to have to jump on this pretty quickly. And Doubs has certainly separated himself from the competition.
Yeah, I do agree that Christian Watson now becomes interesting because, we're already starting behind the 8 ball and you're already kind of seeing the chemistry with Aaron Rodgers with another rookie receiver. But I will say this, Sammy Watkins, I think from a redraft standpoint, not Dynasty. I'm sorry, I know it's taboo on Wednesdays, but I have to talk about it here. I don't know if I'm going to be jumping on the Romeo Doubs bandwagon for redraft just yet because, yeah, it's nice. But until I've never seen Devontae Adams didn't even earn a role really in his rookie season. So I'm sorry, but I don't believe it. I'll believe it when I see it. So unfortunately, from that standpoint, I think I'll be fading him for redraft still because I think Sammy Watkins might be kind of a thorn in his side. But for dynasty purposes, I'm going to ask you a quick question. In a vacuum, who are you taking, Watson or Doubs in dynasty right now?
That is an excellent question, and right now I would take Doubs over Watson. I know technically I have Watson at 16 and I have Doubs at 18, but if you forced me to make the pick between the two of them and I'm sitting at pick, he falls to me, let's say both of them fall to me at pick 19, which probably isn't going to happen. Watson's probably going to go earlier than that, but if I'm forced to make the decision, I'm going with the hot hand. Since the beginning of this thing, I've been saying go aggressive on these Green Bay Packers receivers. One of them is going to separate themselves early, jump in on that. Right now it looks like Dobbs. My money's on Dobbs. I'd go Dobbs. And I don't know, let the chips fall where they may. I may be wrong on that one, but I'm leaning on Romeo there, who the real Romeo I thought was kind of a pussy. So let's hope that this Romeo is much better. I mean, he poisons himself. Juliet stabs herself. He takes the easy way out, right?
Well, I know. Unbelievable. That's a whole different show. That's that's our Friday night show where we're drinking some wine, talking about some old books. But anyway, let's get back on track. I actually will tell you better update those rankings because our people are watching those Razzball rankings. And if you're going to sit here on the show and take Dobbs over Watson, I'm going to hold your feet to the fire. You better update those rankings, young man. All right, let's jump down to your boy. Let's jump down to your boy, Wan'Dale Robinson. I mean, the star of camp. I mean, Peter King goes over there, basically say this guy is an absolute stud. So listen, feel free. I know we don't allow victory laps until the real games start playing, but I'll give you a victory sprint here. So go ahead. Talk about your boy, Wan'Dale.
Well, I appreciate you giving me the opportunity, especially after I had to eat it on the Dobbs situation. So I do get some of these right, guys. So kind of hang with me, and maybe we'll hit on a few of them. Wan'Dale Robinson talk of camp wasn't a big surprise to yours truly. But, what's kind of got me a little worried, though, is they're talking about playing him a little bit at running back, which I didn't like it when Nebraska did that to him. Thought that wasn't fair in the Big Ten. It's certainly not going to be fair in the NFL. They're going to eat him alive, a couple of those shots, and hopefully they wise up and say, let's not put they list him at 185, but I don't believe that. Let's not put the 170-pound, 5'6" dynamo at running back and taking hits. So please don't do that, Giants. Dable or Dabs or whatever they call him, don't do that. But love Wan'Dale Robinson. He's eating it up at camp. My favorite story, of all the camp stories that I've read, is Daniel Jones is doing pretty good. The second team's going in the red zone. And you can see Wan'Dale and Daniel Jones talking off to the side, right? They come back in for their turn with the first team, and Wan'Dale runs this incredible out route where he's wide open. Jones hits him for the touchdown. I just love hearing they just communicating with his quarterback. His quarterback's got an open ear. They're working together. These guys could make magic in the NFL season, and it could be even better than what I'd hoped for, but I'm pretty impressed so far.
So first thing I'm going to talk about with Wan'Dale Robinson is the size thing. And I think a lot of times people are going to start talking about the size and they're saying, a lot of guys don't necessarily break out in the NFL because of their stature. Okay, first of all, now you don't have to look far to find a scenario where a smaller receiver, a.k.a. Cole Beasley, by the way, Cole Beasley on Player Profiler is listed at 5'8", 177. Wan'Dale Robinson, 5'8", 179. So I know you said 5'6", but either way, every site pretty much has these two guys at the same size and weight. So Cole Beasley averaged 108 targets in the Brian Daboll offense. So from long-term perspective, don't give me the bullshit about the size and that he's not going to be able to make it. Cole Beasley's the same size, and he was a dynamo, like a PPR dynamo just 2 years ago. And this kid is probably more talented than Cole Beasley. So I don't want to hear that whole piece. The other thing I will say for redraft purposes, number one, it's going to take time for Daniel Jones to really hit his stride as a passer in this scheme. So I think this is a dynasty take only that I'm buying him. Redraft is another thing. I am not going to touch it. Listen, Galladay, Tony, plus Shepard is a very good player. And I think that his injury, he's going to be brought back slowly. I still think that Shepard might have a shot at the slot duties at some point in the season, moving Wan'Dale to more of that Isaiah McKenzie role. So I am hesitant to draft him there. But for dynasty purposes, I'm in. I like it. I'm feeling him. How high are we talking here, though? Are we talking top 8 to 10, or are you still kind of that top of the second round for Wan'Dale?
I got him in my top 10 now. I got him 9. And one other thing that I find fascinating, which is I think you're going to have fun as a Giants fan this year. I just really do. I think you're going to be happy. I've read that they are running in diamond formation at times with Daniel Jones at quarterback, Kadarius Toney, Wan'Dale Robinson, and Saquon Barkley all in the backfield at the same time. That's got to make you happy to hear, man. The creativity there is could be really impressive. I think the Giants could be a lot of fun to watch this season.
They better be. I'll have to take these jerseys out. All right, let's jump down to the next player on the list. Isaiah Pacheco, right? Pacheco? We just talked about it off there. Pacheco, I'm the worst. I am, by the way, the worst with names. I don't know why. He's getting first-team reps, and this is important. This is a Kansas City Chiefs, Andy Reid running back, but a rookie getting work over Ronald Jones. So talk to us a little bit about this guy, what you saw from his film, and why you're excited to talk about him right now.
Yeah, so another guy that I felt like I was kind of out early on. I think I was highest ranking on him on the initial rankings that we put out. I thought I had him at 34 possibly. Now I bounced him down a little bit because of, I think they re-signed Jerick McKinnon after I made that first ranking, and that made me bump him a little bit. But if he's running ahead of Rojo, this guy is the guy to go after. I've got him ranked 38, but I need to adjust. I'll probably be 31 by the end of the week. And who knows, by the end of next week, I could have him within the top 15. If this guy is number 1 or number 2 for the Chiefs, you have to get him. He was 98th percentile in the player profiler, 27 bench reps, 4.340, stuck it in New Jersey with the Scarlet Knights. Things are really ugly for Rutgers. I think I saw that they are selling 6-game ticket packages with parking passes and sideline seats for $99, which that tells you how bad it is there in Piscataway. But he was up against, tougher competition, man. He can't hang with those Big Ten defensive linemen while he's running behind Rutgers' offensive line. So you got to give him a little bit of a pass on what happened in college, but he was still the man in college for them. So love Isaiah Pacheco. Think you gotta be aggressive on this guy too, just like Dobbs. When these guys start to show that they're better than everybody, believe them and take them early, So I'm pushing him to from 38 to 31 by the end of the week. Stay tuned, because this guy could be a top 15 player by the end of camp here. He's already taken over kick returner duties, and I always love grabbing the kick returners because it shows that the coaches think they're dynamic. They want the ball in their hands. They're willing to get it to them in any way they can.
The one thing about this guy too is he is a freak, like athletically. Like he ran like an insane 40, like 4.3, like, and in the 7th round, it's kind of confusing a little bit because you guys, it's 99th percentile 40-yard dash, 98th percentile speed score, and he's strong as shit. 27 bench press, 93rd percentile. Like, this is big stuff. And his spark score on player profile is 96th percentile. So this guy's a freak. But the thing I like is that not only does he have those measurables, but he's getting the trust of a staff already. Like, they're giving him first team reps because he earned it, and he's earned it over a veteran. There's no reason, you cannot explain to me there's a reason why that he's getting reps in the first team over Ronald Jones. I'm sorry, without saying that he hasn't earned it. It's not because like, oh yeah, he just plays a different role. No, he plays running back with Ronald Jones. So there's something to that. And Ronald Jones is a good runner. He's not a great all-around player. So I do like this. I like the fact that this kid is getting those reps, and it's Andy Reid. It's like, invest in the geniuses. There's masterminds of offense in the NFL. Andy Reid is one of them. If he's telling you that this kid's earning first team reps as a rookie, you should listen, because Clyde has not shown enough yet, and Jerick McKinnon's on a 1-year deal. So this could be some big time stuff as soon as 2023. So I do love that.
Yeah, and if I give one more point on him, he's catching the ball well out of the backfield. My only criticism when you watch his film in college is this guy runs like his hair's on fire, man. He just goes. And sometimes in college, the hole's not there for Rutgers, so he's just slamming into defensive linemen, and there's nothing there. And sometimes it looks ugly. Sometimes it looks like he can't read the blocking, but maybe there's just no blocking. Maybe there's just no hole. So we'll see how things shake out in Kansas City, but loved this guy from the start. Love him even more after these reports in camp.
All right, let's flip down to our final topic for today. Some running back rank switches. Tyler Allgeier and Isaiah Spiller. Two kind of different situations. Isaiah Spiller, that Austin Eckler is the guy. However, there are questions whether or not Tyler Allgeier could take over as the number 1 in Atlanta. His running style kind of fits the mold of those bigger backs that Arthur Smith, like Derrick Henry, is used to. So talk to us a little bit about these guys, why Allgeier is now ahead of Spiller in your rankings.
Well, Allgeier is, he's the round peg in the round hole. He's just the perfect fit there for Atlanta. Talent-wise, I would prefer Spiller. Now, if Eckler goes down, Spiller is going to be, I don't want to say a league winner, but he's going to be a guy who's really going to change things for you if you can get him. Maybe you get him with the last pick of your redraft league. Maybe, in Dynasty, I've got him a little bit higher in there. I think he's 2022, something in that range. So I like Spiller's talent. Plus, he's showing really good pass catching ability early in camp, which we kind of knew going in. But, this guy runs it well. He catches it well. He's elusive. He's a strong, powerful runner. Problem is he doesn't have that top end speed. Same can be said of Allgeier, but he's not really much of a pass catcher and he's not quite as elusive. But I just like Allgeier's situation. This guy is going to go in there and he's going to be just what the doctor ordered for Arthur Smith.
So with Allgeier, he doesn't have terrible comps, like Zach Moss, Alexander Madison types. We don't really know what Madison is yet. We've seen glimpses when, a player like Dalvin Cook goes down. But the thing with Allgeier is that I don't know what's going on with Cordell Patterson. You look at these reports, he's not practicing. They're barely letting him practice in team drills. And all they keep saying is we're saving him for the regular season. Now, I know this is Dynasty talk, so Allgeier could be, as soon as 2023, a lead back on us and a guy who knows how to use the running game. But the one thing I will say, though, I'm kind of confused. Like, I don't understand what the Cordell back. Some people call him a satellite back. Other people tell him they're resting. They're saying he's the lead guy. So I think Allgeier, from a speculative ad, we've seen guys like Antonio Andrews and Bishop Sankey and those kind of guys get workhorse roles under the Arthur Smith scheme. So I do love the offense for him. The other thing, though, with Isaiah Spiller is, does Joe Lombardi want a Mark Ingram to Austin Eckler's Alvin Kamara, meaning the Saints style of two-back system? Because is Eckler really a guy that you want to give 15 to 20 carries to every single week? I don't think so. I think they want to use him more in the passing game. And then a guy like Isaiah Spiller could be a perfect complement to him. Now, Joshua Kelly apparently is getting first-team reps too, so there is things to look at there. Allgeier makes the most sense in the sense of the clearest path to a starter role. However, Isaiah Spiller is tied to the Chargers, who, by the way, have an MVP caliber quarterback, 3 stud receivers. They have a top 10 offensive line. They have everything you want for a running back. So the question comes, do you care more about the potential starting opportunity with the Falcons with a bottom 10 quarterback and a bottom 10 offensive line, or do you care more about the potential 1B role on an elite offense? So I guess I have a lot more questions to ask, but I guess any final thoughts about Allgeier and Spiller?
Well, yeah, just kind of one more on Spiller. I think you're kind of getting to it with them trying to give Spiller some carries to get some rest for Austin Eckler. There's no question, I think, in anybody's mind that I guess it's not San Diego, pardon me, the Chargers have a playoff level team. And in the playoffs, they're going to want Austin Eckler there. So if they want to get him there, they're probably going to need to take a little bit off of his plate to get him there, because he's not a huge guy. He is effective on the goal. He's effective in everything he does. But I think they're going to want to kind of save him a little bit so they still have him for the playoff run. They don't want him injured when they're trying to take on those playoffs.
Yeah, I agree. And that's absolutely why I think that Spiller, he doesn't have a clear path to a starting job necessarily, but we have seen Lombardi be a part of coaching staffs that have established 2 really good running backs for fantasy. So I don't hate it, but I like the boldness of the Allgeier take as well. All right, that's all we got today, folks, for the Dynasty Rookie Rankings, NFL Training Camp Risers and Fallers. Make sure you're following us all across the board at Razzball Fantasy on YouTube. Hit the subscribe, hit the bell. We're going to be dropping knowledge all summer long. And make sure you come back tomorrow as we do the next rankings episode with DT, the captain of the ship. But also make sure you're going to razzball.com to check out all the great articles we have on the baseball, hockey, basketball, and, of course, football. Once again, I'm your host, Bobby LaMarco. That man over there is Paul Blake. Make sure you go give him a follow on Twitter at PaulBlakePB12. Thanks for joining us again, folks. We are out of here.